Can you guys hear me?
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Audio. Hello.
Hey.
All right, we in?
I think so.
Cool. Oh, damn it. I forgot to get my background.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Okay, so there's a real easy feature to use on Zoom, guys. We'll wait a couple minutes until people show up. Wherein, if you have like a pretty blank background, you can insert any kind of backdrop to it. So you could have like, I don't know, like a jungle, or you could have like Star Wars, you could have like a garbage, whatever you wanted to put back there.
It looks like you have the Star Wars backdrop.
Yeah, I guess I've taken care of that, but Greg, can you demonstrate it for a sec? Greg's doesn't work too well because he's got all this shit going on in his apartment.
It's not great, but
it's real easy. I was gonna get a yeah, it doesn't really work too well. There, okay.
Oh, there we go.
So you can get like outer space or whatever. It's kind of cool.
Well,
I'll try and work on it for
Do you have
next.
to have a white background behind you?
Like a solid color.
yeah, that's the reason why mine doesn't work very well, is because there's too many colors.
How did you do that? What did you do?
In the lower left of your screen, there's a section for video, and so there's a little arrow. If you choose the arrow, there's choose virtual backgrounds in there.
Oh,
You see that?
yeah.
All right, what do you get? How are you guys doing? How's everybody doing out there?
yeah, pretty good. Yeah. How about you?
Cool. Yeah, no complaints over here. Just went for a big bike ride down to the Superstore. We'll wait 2 or 3 minutes to see if anyone else shows up.
For sure.
Yeah, well, I guess we're recording, but we'll try it next time to record maybe after people show up and we can kind of do a little lead into the show or something like that.
Or can you just cut all this beforehand? Because I think we're gonna lose viewership.
I mean, our viewership is right
26
well into.
and holding strong.
Wait, does anybody actually watch it after we post it? That's the
Yeah,
question.
that scene is like how people have seen that the post has gone up. That's not necessarily viewership.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you want, I can post this to my YouTube channel. We can see how many views we get.
Yeah, absolutely.
I've got at least 6 or 7 Oh, there's Randy.
I mean,
so
you
stupid.
could.
I'm trying.
Oh
I
man,
don't know if it's working.
I thought
No, it's
that was
working
actually
for
a
sure.
picture of you with the tiger.
I've never watched this show. I have not watched this show.
Days.
I have not watched this show, but my students love this show. Tiger King, I don't know. So
I didn't know you taught at a trailer park. That's amazing. I'm just kidding. That's great. Apparently, they're issuing a new episode this week.
It was so popular, they put an epilogue.
Yeah, they just.
I don't watch it.
Yeah, you're not missing much there, but you got a new hairdo, I see.
I straightened out all my hair just to see, and I need a haircut so bad.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Go for it.
Agreed. So, everybody, welcome to the Sykes Survivor Talk. Welcome. Great to see everybody. Leanne, Steven,
Hey.
Greg is here,
Hello.
my brother Paul, the Rand Man, and it looks like Denise is here, maybe just listening in. That's fantastic. Welcome to Denise as well. Maybe we'll get some more people throughout the evening. We'll start off, I guess, leading in with the top story of the night. Adam Klein.
Oh my God.
Sorry. His heart was beating out of his chest, literally out of his chest, but he's here. He's here. No, he's gone.
For another 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yep.
I think the lead is not actually Adam Klein Goes Home. I think the lead is worst episode ever. This
It was
was
a bad one.
mess. It was terrible. It was almost I got to the point where I was like, why am I watching this direct? It was bad.
It was just really hard to distinguish what was going on. I agree. So up until the point where we have the immunity challenge, and then we go back to camp, and it's that point where I think the wheels really come off the cart, because I couldn't get a sense of what the strategy was at all. I watched the show twice to try and make some notes.
Me too.
Here's how I see things going down back at camp. First of all, they get Kim Spradlin popping in saying like, okay, this is not going to be a crazy vote tonight. And then immediately, and so then they go and they're like, well, the vote's between Nick and Adam. So maybe they're going to split votes or whatever. And then it moves to between Nick and Adam to Nick and Michelle. Then Nick tells Tyson that Sophie put his name out there. So I don't think Tyson really buys this at all, but because Tyson's not a moron, but Jeremy and Adam and Tyson then kind of put Sarah's name out there. Tyson then throws it back on Adam. Sarah learns it's her. She freaks out. Then the vote comes back on Tyson. And Adam gets in about how he's voting for Sarah. And we go off to tribal council having no clear delineation of who is with whom, who is voting for what, who is aligned with whomever. And I didn't love it. I don't know. That was my downside. And then tribal council is just a mess. What did you guys think of this whole thing?
My take is complete opposite. I loved it. Because I didn't know what was about to happen.
All right. I kind of like to have some sense of direction in an episode. Otherwise, they might as well just like every week just be like, it could be anyone, and then you go to the vote, and it's kind of arbitrary. But all right.
Yeah.
Can I tell you guys something? So last week, when I was coming up with my list of the top 5 players from season 1 to 20, so I went through CBS's website. And I'll tell you this, every season from 1 to 20 last week had Adam's face in it.
I saw that too. I actually went back because I was trying to pull pictures for your picks.
So, and that kind of, I was like, why do they have Adam's picture?
No.
This was before I did this, right?
Sure.
This was, and so that was weird. Now I'll tell you, they have Ethan's picture.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, Randy's got some hot takes here based on a glitch in the Survivor CBS website.
So Ethan's going to be your pick for next vote out?
Oh no, I was gutted. Gutted.
He's already out.
So is he going to just leave?
So maybe he comes back.
Could be
Leah.
If
if he leaves, then whatever that was on the website, and that's just coming up with the players that I picked from 1 to 20, and then this week is Ethan's face, and I'm just like, what is going on? Because when I watched the episode today, I'm just like, that's kind of weird. So,
yeah. I mean, maybe it's coincidence. Maybe there's something to that. Do we believe that the Chinese started the coronavirus? Because did I tell you my Vietnamese maintenance guy was trying to convince me that it was definitely a Chinese plot.
Right.
Discuss amongst yourselves. No, I'm just kidding.
Roseanne Barr is right. They're trying to get rid of everyone 60 years and older so that healthcare and everything, there are benefits for younger people.
You know what was interesting about what you just said was no one's ever said Roseanne Barr was right before. So that's cool, man. That's cool, dude.
Going back to the episode.
Sure.
It wasn't just the 15 minutes at the end that gave you no direction. It was the fact they wasted a lot of time with looking for fire tokens at the beginning, right? And then we had to listen to a Danny Boatwright confessional. Why are we listening to a Danny Boatwright confessional at this point? Then we go into a really long reward challenge. Then we go into the sharing of fortune cookies. And then an immunity challenge, right? You're about 30 minutes into the episode before any strategy is broken down. And it leaves the viewer having no idea where the vote is going.
Yeah, I'm not crazy about having no idea. I was convinced it was Tyson because it's one of those things where there were a few people getting really thrown around. And then Tyson's name kind of pops up at the end. And I'm like, oh man, he's trying to get too cute here. They had a couple interviews or confessionals with him. And I was like, oh no, that's it. He's gone for sure. Right. But it seemed like the vote at the very beginning, before any of this shit happened, was like, it was between Adam and Nick. Adam was going home, and then ultimately Adam went home.
Right.
So maybe it was a super straightforward vote. Maybe, although all the players seem to be talking about how it was chaotic at camp, and obviously there was a lot of whispers going on at Tribal. I couldn't tell what those whispers were. I still don't get a sense of who's working with whom. I think there's probably like a 9-person alliance right now. But it's really, I don't know. I really had a hard time distinguishing anything. And I don't necessarily love that. I don't know.
It's kind of a poorly played season too, I think. I think no one's really willing to kind of put their neck out.
Yeah, it's hard for me at this point. I'm sorry, I know I'm talking too much, but to pick out, well, who has played the best game so far? I have a hard time distinguishing that. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Michelle.
Best game so far?
Still no.
No, I'm thinking, so my top 3 were Michelle, Sophie, and Adam. So Adam's gone. Now of the 2, Michelle.
But would you like to qualify that?
I think she's the hyena that they were saying, right? Like Tony said, she's the hyena who's going to come in there. And she's getting a good edit. I know you guys are saying Sophie's getting a good edit. I feel Michelle is getting a amazing edit. I am falling in love with her every week. Like,
okay, but how is... Sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just, like, the way they're editing her just makes me root for her more and more now that she's by herself. She has no Wendell. She's just, I don't know.
Sure, but that's not necessarily a reflection on her game, though, right?
She's got 4 tokens. She got 4 tokens. She traded them in. She's got that little flip thing, save or not safe, or
actually, can we talk about that quickly? Because was that a waste of 4 tokens?
Yeah.
I don't know. I wouldn't have got that for 4 tokens. A 50-50 chance of being safe?
Yeah, hold on. But the fortune cookies told her to do it.
But I mean, if you think about it, like a 1 in 2 chance of getting an immunity idol, like that's not bad.
Versus
for 4, though.
Versus
it was the price that, right? The 4 fire tokens. Yeah.
But what can she buy herself with 4 tokens? Can't she buy an immunity?
Oh, no, she can't buy anything. Wait, she can buy food or a tarp or, I don't know, a spot on a reward challenge. The players in the game can't buy anything.
Was that changed at the merge? Because I thought with a certain number of tokens, they could buy an immunity necklace or something.
That's on the edge of extinction.
Yeah, for 3, I think. Yeah.
Not immunity.
So it's worth it for Parv to make that deal, and like good on her, I think, to make that deal. Although she's claimed that she's going to spend it on food for her and Danny. Hold on to that. Buy as many advantages as you can, right?
Yeah,
hold on to 3 of them at least. Use the 1 token to buy the peanut butter. I love that, but like hold on to 3 and buy yourself 3 advantages. I think. I don't know.
That's the smart move.
Yeah, I don't know. Would you guys? I had this as a question for you guys. Do you guys make that? Is there a better way you can leverage those 4 fire tokens other than get like a 50-50 shot? And is the 50-50 deal the worst advantage of all time?
But no, here's the thing. Like, she got this opportunity. What if you don't get an opportunity? What if you just give it up and then no one else gives you?
That's a good point.
Like so you take any advantage. And, you know, I'm a big believer in little fortune cookies or whatever, little signs that come out there. I'm just like, okay, it told me to do that. I'm doing it. I've lived my life that way. I'm 54. It's all based on shit. And I'm like, okay, I'll do that.
The problem with the 50-50 proposition, though, is first of all, your read has to be right that you're going home, right? You have to be fairly confident in order to play it. And then even if you get that read, then you're still only 50-50. It's not great.
Well, what else? I just wonder, like, as far as that currency is concerned, can we come up with better ways for her to use that? Like, Randy makes a good point. She's probably not getting that offer again from somebody on Edge, right? There's like 4 more episodes, 3 more episodes.
Yeah.
Right.
So then can she use that in the game? Now, right now, those tokens have almost no value in the game because they can't be used for anything useful. So can you use that? And I heard a take on this last night. Could you use that to just buy yourself some safety? Say, listen, I'll give you a fire token to one particular person. If you keep me safe every week, you continue to get another fire token.
Right.
You know, whether or not anyone's going to bite at that, because so far those fire tokens have been effectively worthless to people actually in the game. I don't know.
Okay, but I would hold out the fact that they made such a big deal about the fire tokens, the show, right?
Mm.
You have to think that something is coming down the pipeline to utilize these things in an effective manner. And there's 10 people left. I don't think Michelle is going to be targeted in the next probably 2 or 3 votes.
Nope.
So I would probably hold out for a better offer.
What do you guys, anybody else have a hot take on this, or cold take, lukewarm take?
I just kind of feel like she thinks she's at the bottom right now. It's just like she doesn't really have anybody in her alliance. She was blindsided with the Wendell vote. Like she doesn't really have anybody tight with her. So it's like this is kind of like her security blanket right now. Whether or not it's actually going to pan out, who knows? But I feel like she just needed some sort of reassurance that like she could get further in the game. She has a little bit of control.
Right. And I suppose you could bluff with it too.
Yeah.
No, but I agree with you because she said when the episode started, she felt like her and Nick were blindsided.
That's
weren't
true.
told
She did.
anything. And then when you get that offer, take it because you feel you're at the bottom of their totem pole. Oh yeah, no one told them. So
Randy, you like Michelle's move.
I totally did. I thought like if I was in her situation right there and I didn't get told what last week's vote was, and we voted for someone else, the two of us, I'm at the bottom here. Give me anything, I will take it. And if you guys are believing in me on the edge of extinction and giving it to me, oh, hell yeah, I'm taking it. Because I'm not going to piss you guys off. Because who knows how it's going to come play back. And if Parvati or whoever comes back, okay, I have someone there. I took their deal. So
yeah, that's actually pretty smart because I think you're right. You run the risk of alienating them to not take it, and they might not offer you a similar reward going forward if you refuse it, right?
Yeah, and if it's Parvati who gets back in the game, let's just say, and I didn't take that, there is no alliance now. At least now there is some type of a connection that she did this for me. She gets back in, I have a chance. Or whoever she's playing with. And she was playing with Danny, right? She didn't know that. Michelle didn't know that. But she's made 2 connections now.
Possibly. She did have a connection with Parv before because she was playing with her. Remember they got swapped onto that tribe. But yeah, that's good to firm that up. I don't know if I see Parv coming back into the game, but
I don't see
I see what you're saying.
Edge of Extinction that has 4 tokens now, so she can buy an advantage at the next challenge to get back in the game, and she can use those other 3 to buy an immunity idol.
Yeah, so I did hear I did a bit of reading today as far as the idols are concerned, and the idols that both Natalie and Rob bought would still be in play if they were to get back in the game at the next buy-in.
Did they actually buy those? Is it confirmed?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll change the spreadsheet because on screen there was no confirmation ever. Like they said, I'm going to use 1 for this and 3 for an idol, but it never really showed it. So and we're in the game, so I wasn't sure whether to give those points. So.
Wow, that's going to give Rob quite a few points. We'll talk about the spreadsheet later on tonight, but some interesting scoring this week that Craig and I had to discuss. What did you guys think before we carry on then? So, there seems to be some, I mean, it's a pretty strong opinion to say this is the worst episode of all time.
It's pretty bad. Remember the Winners at War song they played in the Immunity Challenge? That was so
that was
cheesy.
so bad. Oh, sorry.
It was so bad.
That video.
Yeah.
That's my jam right there. It's like everyone was on text with us like, what is this?
Calm before storm. Get ready for the thunder.
It's so cheesy.
It's Winners at War.
I have to say that. I have to say this wasn't a very good episode, but one of my favorite parts was like the cuts to Jeremy for just reactions when like the names were changing and stuff. Like I loved it. It made me so happy.
Jeremy has the hugest bug eyes.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
Eyes. Yeah.
I can't do it. His eyes get so bulged out of his head. It's great. And every time people would come up to him and be like, it's Sarah now. Now Nick. It's awesome.
Yeah.
Jeremy's great. Jeremy's great TV. I really like him a lot. Okay, so what about Adam trying to play the final thing from the tribal there and Adam leaving? I mean, Adam looks so desperate. I loved when Adam's like, anybody, and just
Crickets.
crickets, and then he's like, okay, total resignation,
Yeah.
and then the march over to the podium to attempt to play.
Oh my God, that was painful.
It
That
was
was
awesome.
so painful to watch.
Oh, I
If it
love
would have panned
Jeff
out
is
though.
looking down at
man.
him.
Oh,
You know what? Adam was really annoying this season, but he went down kicking and screaming.
yes,
Totally.
I loved him.
He was never in a good position in the game ever, and the
He
fact
had
that
to
he got
try.
this far, yeah, he had to try that, and he tried his ass off the entire game. He made some mistakes, but I don't think he could have done any better. I'm surprised he lasted this long. I thought he would have been a big target. I'm surprised that Sarah Lucina's still in the game. Tony, okay, every week I'm dazzled that Tony's still in the game. Tony, 3 times this episode, talked sense into people.
Uh-huh.
Let me just talk you down here, right? Michelle at the beginning of the game, and then he talks down Sarah. Sarah, I don't know if you should have done that, with picking Nick for the reward. And then in Adam, at the tribal, he explains to Adam how the game works. Adam, what do you want us to do? We got to vote. You got to write down on a piece of paper. We're gonna vote. You want us just to say it out here? You want us to even vote? It was great. I know how the game works, Tony. Tony's such a great
This
TV
is
man.
going to be a new segment every episode is you doing an impression of someone.
Yeah, great. Bring it on. You name a I mean, I couldn't do a good like Michelle or anything like that. People
That's
who
a
are
hard
devoid of personalities. Oh, sorry, Randy.
My credit card?
I do like Michelle's game a lot. I think she's playing quite well. I think she is getting a great at it.
Get stuff from A&W.
I do.
Yeah.
So we'll have to wait and see how that's just going to pan out. There's not that many episodes left. So okay, let's get back to the start of the show here. So Nick has a little hissy fit at the beginning of the show, and he declares that it's his duty to take other people out. Now Nick's getting some screen time now.
Yeah.
Are we concerned that Nick is going to be a 0-vote finalist?
Yeah. I picked him in the final 3.
Yeah,
Picked him too.
You did
Yeah.
a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think based on his screen time versus his less than magnetic personality, you've got to figure he's going far, right? They're putting him in for a reason.
Possibly.
He's my new Adam. He's my new Adam.
Like maybe he'll go far, but I don't think he's going to go far because people are thinking, oh, we'll take Nick to the end because he won't get votes. Because I think if he was at the end, he would be dangerous to potentially try to work in some votes. I mean, it's not like he's been completely invisible the entire game. Like he hasn't really been aligned with people too much, but he hasn't really been making moves, but people have won this game while staying out of focus until midway through the game, and then all of a sudden turning it on and making moves and getting to the end and winning.
It's
That is
true,
true.
but you need relationships with people, and 2 different people. Kim was one, and I think one other person said they have no relationship at all with Nick. That's problematic for jury votes.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of people on the jury he might have a relationship with. And
Wendell.
aside from Wendell,
No.
he's also hasn't been involved. Like he hasn't been on the right side of almost any vote, and he hasn't been involved in any of the strategic play whatsoever. So look, there's still a lot of gameplay. They're in day 23, I think, right, of a 39-day game. So there's still 16 days to go. Like Chris Underwood didn't get back into the game until what, 4 days left or 8 days left or
Something
whatever it
like
was.
that, yeah.
Right at the
Still
end.
able to. Yeah, he was still able to pull some moves. So it's not impossible. I don't know. Is there anyone right now that I was going to ask you guys this? We'll go around and see what people think. Anyone right now who you think there's no possibility for them to win? Who's currently still in the game of the 10 players left?
Oh, I need to know who's in there again.
Sure. Jeremy. Jeremy could win, I think, still.
Yes.
Okay. Nick Wilson.
No, I
We
don't
just
think he
talked
can win.
about, obviously Greg thinks that he can win.
I don't think he can win.
I don't think he can win.
No.
I didn't say he could win.
Okay.
There's a possibility that he could win only because he's still in the game, right?
Sure.
But what I'm saying is I don't think people are just going to bring him to the end because he's not going to get any votes, because I would think
Okay.
it's a dangerous move to do, because he does have the ability, if they bring him along for that purpose, to be able to make moves and potentially get a couple of votes in the end.
Mm.
I don't think he's the right person. Adam would have been the right person to do that with.
Sure.
Nick, I don't think is the right person to just say, we'll bring him to the end because he's a safe no vote getter.
I think I said last week too that I don't think Tyson can win either.
Is that based on the edit that you've seen?
No, it's based on him getting voted out with this group. I don't.
I
think he
agree
can
with
win.
you. Totally agree with you.
That's
I
why,
will
he was,
not-
that's why he was safe these last two votes. Like,
Yeah.
if you thought Tyson had any chance to win, I think you would have cut him immediately when he came back. But because he's like, I really think he's been effectively neutralized. But that's just my take on it.
I know.
You don't think he'd get enough votes from the jury folk?
Just because they're on the jury, I still think a lot of people respect the fact that if you've been voted out of Survivor, you shouldn't win Survivor with these old school players, right?
That's true. None of those people had ever been and voted out and then come back into the
Yeah.
game, right?
Right.
And won a game.
Yeah.
So, in fact, there's only one person who's ever done that. So.
For
Yeah.
me, I think if I was to pick someone to be in the finale that was not going to get any votes, of all of the people who are left, would be Kim.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, at this point, she hasn't really been moving and shaking.
She was
Is
so
that just
amazing,
is that
though.
just based on her edit though, Junior? Like, are you just basing that on her screen time?
Well, I'm basing it on what she's done.
She just
And
won immunity.
I don't.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, she won immunity, but
She
I
does
don't-
have an idol.
I don't think she's made moves.
I don't think she's directed any moves.
But problematically, I don't know who has made moves.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. So who is playing well this year?
Right.
Right. So there's nobody who's left on the board that I'm like, it's impossible for them to win. I think Nick is pretty low down on the totem pole. I take your
I don't
point
think
about
Ben will win
Tyson.
either.
Yeah, Driebergen would have a tough time winning, I think. He's gotten a lot of like kind of the goofy guy edit, and basically his relationship and with the banter with Adam has been sort of his number one jam. But yeah,
Yeah.
you're probably right there, Leanne. I don't know if Ben does have a shot at victory.
Ben
in this
needs to
thing.
keep his mouth shut.
Yeah, Ben rubs people the wrong way.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never would have won that season unless he had won. Oh wait, I'm thinking of Mike Holloway, who like won 15 different
Immunity challenges. Yeah.
immunity challenges. But Driebergen found like 4 idols in a row or something like that, didn't he?
Yeah.
And then he was gonna get voted out, but then they came up with this fire thing.
Yes, that's right.
He was the first like benefactor of that fire challenge or whatever.
Right. And then he was
So-
up against a very weak other two players, right?
What was that? Ryan Ulrich
Yep, that's right.
and Chrissy.
Yep.
I don't know if Chrissy was a weak player.
I just don't. I think again, Chrissy suffered from usually in the mother role, if you betray people, you can't win as in the mother role. It's not fair, but
Mhm.
we've seen it time and time again, right?
Yeah, the Don Meehan.
Yeah, the Don Meehan.
Tough. That's tough. Okay, so who's playing a good game? Who's playing the best game out there that's clearly elevated above everybody else? Or are they editing it to make it impossible for us to determine that?
Jeremy, Tony, Sophie.
Tony.
Tony's a rock star right now, man. Loving Tony.
Yeah, he is.
Tony's doing.
I'm so sorry I didn't pick him actually.
He's doing what he like. Is he making?
He
a
has
lot
no
of
points.
moves?
No, he has no points.
No, he's not making any moves. He's not winning anything, but he's doing exactly what Tony Vlachos needs to do to go far, and that's go under the radar for a while.
Steve,
Mhm.
he wouldn't be doing you any better than Ben is right now.
Yeah, Ben at least looks like a total wiener out there. At least Tony's good TV. So I mean,
I don't think Ben's bad TV. He's just it's a different element, right?
Yeah.
Tony's been very insightful, like you said earlier. So when it comes to Tony, especially when he said, "Hey, why did you give up that reward type thing?" I thought that was pretty solid, and thought you took on that, it's that more sober second thought voice. Whereas Ben, for me, I'm damn it, Ben, he better win it all, Ryan. That'll be his redemption right there.
What, Tony?
Distracted right now by you, Steve. You're in your kitchen, and what are you cooking?
I'm cooking chicken and potatoes. I took a nap after I was marking for a while, so I woke up at 6:30. So
That was my squirrel. He's a good cook. I had to know.
Hey, are you a teacher? Are you a teacher?
yeah, I'm an instructor at the college.
Oh, okay.
Look at all these teachers on the line.
That makes a few of us in here. Yeah, absolutely. So, Tony.
My mom just called, so I have to go back and talk to her for a second.
Okay, Randy. Better get Randy's picks of all time later on. This call better not take half an hour.
Oh, it's going to take half an hour.
Yeah, well, I don't know. Does Randy? Yeah, who knows? Okay, so Tony playing a good game. Sophie playing a good game, I think. Even though it's quiet, we do when we hear from Sophie, it's strategic. Hey, Sophie, on that puzzle and the reward challenge.
Yeah.
That was good.
As soon as I saw Sophie up there, I'm like, this is over. There's no way anyone else is
doing that puzzle with her. Was Sophie and who?
Michelle.
Was it Michelle?
No, it was Sophie
It was
and
Michelle.
somebody extraneous. Was it Kim?
Michelle.
I thought she was in the water.
Is it
Michelle.
Michelle? Okay, it's Michelle. Yeah.
Why are they ignoring us?
I definitely already said that.
There's a lot of people
She's
talking.
a
It's hard to-
character. No, it's all good.
Okay, it was Michelle.
Got
Did-
it.
Was
So-
Michelle instrumental in the puzzle solve?
Well, they were both there at the end, moving crap around. Like they didn't edit it, making it look like Sophie did the entire thing and was the hero for doing it all herself.
No, that's true. But Soph's on the puzzle. The puzzle was solved. I like it. I like it. What do you guys think about Sarah giving that reward to Nick?
Yeah.
What? Oh, that's a pretty
That's a
big eye roll.
Yeah, big reaction.
That's a big eye roll. Seriously, I don't care if it's his birthday. It's $2 million.
Yeah.
Dude.
And
Yeah, but
also,
is
it's never going to be seen as a genuine gesture. It will never be seen that way. So
Bad move.
it's a bet. Yeah, exactly. You don't want to be noticed for things like this at this point, and especially if anyone's seen, which they've all seen, Sarah's previous season.
Yeah,
right.
She backstabbed everyone.
Yeah.
So,
This is just going to make her seem more disingenuous, as opposed to people be like, "Oh, Sarah's such a good person." Even if they said, "Oh, Sarah's such a good person," that would still give you ammunition to vote them out.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like, I think it was a really sweet move. Like, I thought it was a genuine move, but I also feel like there's obviously like a little bit of background of like, oh, it's a little bit strategic for sure. Like, it's going to be in the back of everybody's mind. But yeah, no, I thought it was really sweet of her to do that. So I don't know. As a viewer, that's how I.
It was a very sweet move. It was a nice gesture. But as far as the game goes, seriously, dude, bad call.
Agreed. Yeah.
I think Tony said it best when he gave her the lecture afterwards.
And like, if Tony is lecturing you, then there's a problem.
Wait,
Absolutely.
guys, wait. What? Like, giving it to Nick? What's it gonna get you? Nothing.
Adam.
So you're just being nice. Like,
It gets you out of horrible indigestion from eating Chinese takeout when you haven't
That's
eaten
true.
in like 3
Apparently,
weeks.
those reward challenges can make you really sick.
But I just thought, okay, if she gave it to someone like, okay, who's a star player right now?
Tony.
One, but if she gave it to someone like that, I'd be like, oh, okay. But Nick was on the chopping block, and maybe she felt some guilt last week, and it was his birthday. I think, like what Leanne said, it was a genuine move, and I thought it was nice. But
I'm not saying it wasn't sincere, but I agree with Kelly. It's probably not the greatest move to make in the game.
Why?
Very sweet move.
Look how many people were talking about it.
Bad call.
Yeah.
Denise is like, oh, come on, that's full on game. Like, anyone's going to use it. Denise is not in the best position. She's going to use that as any jumping off point to undercut some other player, right?
Yep.
So Paul says, why give anybody a reason to notice you at this point?
And in the tribal council, as chaotic as that, and when the lines aren't kind of firmly established, you don't want to put yourself out like that.
Okay, so then, Paul, I agree with you. I'd be the first person voted out. Because
We all agree that you would be the first person voted out, Randy.
I'd make the show, but I'd be the first person voted out because what did he just do? Because okay.
Well, Randy, okay, let me ask you this. What do you think you would need to do to not be voted out first? Because look what Tony's done. Tony was voted out second in this last episode because people were like, oh, we know Tony's game now. So is there a way that you could avoid being the first move?
Okay, I just was told that I have too much energy. I don't give people breathing room. So if I was on a reality show, that's the reason I would be cast.
Was that with your conversation with your mother just like 2 minutes ago?
My mom just
It's
told
okay to be extra, Randy.
but that's the thing. But I won't change being who I am. So I think my first week out on Survivor, I'd have to lay low a bit
Mhm.
and not
Yeah.
be the first voted out. That's
Can you
the
do
only-
that?
No.
Okay.
No,
Okay.
I'm gonna be honest. I couldn't do that. So
So you're the first boot then.
it is. I am. He's right. Looking that way.
So Randy, when I put together my actual live action version of Survivor, which may happen it's not going to happen this summer, but maybe next summer. Are you into that, playing that game?
Okay. I'm like every other. Okay, I'm brown, but I'm like all the black players.
What?
I don't know how to swim. I don't know how to swim. There better not be a water challenge because I'm eliminated. I quit, guys. I'm out. Can't do that. But if we can do something around no water, I'm in.
I mean, there's going to be some water. Just sit out on the Sandra sit out bench.
Okay, I'll do that.
I can always sit out.
Randy sit out bench.
Water, I can't do. Okay.
All right. I like it. Let's see. I don't know. What else do we have on this one? It's just such an all over the map kind of episode, and it's hard to sort of dig in on something that I really enjoyed.
You can't dig in on anything that superficial.
It did seem a little bit, there just didn't seem any depth to anyone's sort of decision making or real strategic conversation.
Mhm.
So
At what point do you guys? I was curious about this. Do you feel the people who are still on edge of extinction coming to tribal? One of them will obviously get back in. When do we think that challenge will come in play? At what point? And
when did Underwood get back in?
And two,
Final
what
five.
do you think?
Sorry, let Junior ask a second part here.
Do you think there's any advantage that they'll hold coming to tribal and actually seeing what's going on at tribal? It's not like no one else is there, but do you think there's any type of advantage that they'll gain from being at tribal and be able to leverage something when they come back in the game?
Well, to answer part one, when did Chris Underwood come back in? I think it was at the final five. Is that right?
Mm-hmm.
And is that the final episode that he got back in? Or I thought it was the final episode because that's the one episode I haven't seen.
Yeah.
I believe it was the final episode.
Yeah.
That's crazy. So he comes back. Whoever is coming back in is presumably coming in the finale. And we don't know when the finale is yet. I don't know. There's 10 players left in the game. There is, by my count, 4 episodes left of the show.
Wow.
So you're going to have a double boot episode at some point, maybe a 2-hour episode. And
The
maybe
finale's on the 6th.
have they said that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's in the guides. There.
Okay.
Oh,
So
okay.
we've got 4 episodes left.
Yeah.
Whoa. 4?
Yeah.
And you have to bring another player in, too.
Yeah, that all happened the last episode.
Yeah, but there's how many are left? 3, 4,
10.
7.
There's 10 people in the game right now. So I guess
That
Junior
seems like
second.
a lot.
It's a lot of people, but this is what they do. They try to back end load now, so you get more of your stars that are still your favorite people that are still in the game. Although, I don't know, a lot of our favorite people I would think are probably on the edge of extinction. But to talk about Junior's second point there, I guess, is there a specific advantage? Well, what was Chris Underwood's advantage coming back in? When he came back in, he had immunity, I believe,
He had
for his
immunity.
first tribal. Is that right?
He
I
did.
think you're right.
Didn't he fuck over Devins? Like, didn't he convince Devins to give him something and then voted Devins out? This is based on just sheerly on my reading about the episode. I've never actually seen it.
I don't remember that particular point happening.
I thought he convinced Devins to do something. Devins made it some kind of a big gambit and it didn't pay off and Devins got booted.
I thought it was another player, not Devins.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I did think Devins got screwed in some way, but I should go back and watch that. It's part of Survivor history. I'm interested. So what advantage did Underwood have then in terms of, just having been on the jury and having witnessed tribal council and coming back into the game? How did Chris Underwood win that game?
I don't think that necessarily helped him. What helped him was the fact that he had been on the edge of extinction for so long. He had a working relationship with every single person on the jury.
Yeah, this
He was
whole
like the
everybody's
third
on the
person.
jury thing is just ridiculous,
It's ridiculous.
right? How does Natalie Anderson get a vote?
Right.
right? Like, how did? Go ahead. Yeah, it seems like a bit much. So, yeah, I mean, if somebody comes back in like Natalie, who hasn't been to every tribal council, she's been to some of the recent ones, but she hasn't been for the first half of the game. She hasn't been at any tribal council, so she may not have any other additional insight. I do take the point about Tyson not having a chance, and I would apply it then, if that's true, doubly to anybody coming back in at the final 5.
Absolutely. Zero
Right.
chance in this season.
In a newbie season, maybe, because who
Maybe.
knows who anybody is. But in a season like this, where everybody is like, man, it's $2 million. Are you really going to give $2 million to Nat Anderson at this point? I really
Right.
doubt it.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
If she gets back in at final 5 and has effectively played whatever, 12 days or 9 days, it's hard for me to see winners rewarding another person like that. I think they would want to look for who's played the best game and not been voted out. I would.
But if
Right.
anyone,
Wait, Paul,
did
that's
have
how
a
I get
chance-
back in. That's how I win. Oh, Paul, I got it. Ryan answered it. That's
You
how
got to win the challenge, buddy. What if it's a swimming competition?
first voted out and then winner. Yes.
So do you think anyone on Edge of Extinction, who is ultimately the jury, will consider any time on Edge of Extinction and what you did on Edge of Extinction as part of the game? Because it is part of the game, and Natalie went there and won a hell of a lot of stuff and got a lot of tokens and stuff like that. So I mean, there is something to say about your time on Edge of Extinction over other people. Like Amber has done absolutely nothing, whereas
She's
Natalie
been there for a
has
long
actually
time.
been able to find some idols and make some moves to help her game. It's just that her game is the Edge of Extinction game, and it was early on.
Yeah, I mean, I'd almost say that she's made more clever moves than a lot of people in the game, right?
And I also feel like they're building like genuine relationships over there. They're like very little conflict. They're not scheming. They're not backstabbing everybody. It's like these people might vote for one of their own.
But that's precisely why you shouldn't win, because the
shouldn't,
the social game is very straightforward. You just get along with everyone and you go on a scavenger hunt every day. There's nothing else to it, right?
There is no strategic component to you being on the Edge of Extinction, right?
Except for like playing the clues and stuff and finding the tokens and everything. Like Rob got 3 and nobody knew he got 3, and like Natalie was like working her ass off since day 1. Like I know it's a whole like outwit, outplay, outlast thing, and it's like I'm sure they could have components of all of those on Edge too. So
that's not having to balance like social social dynamics. That's basically just having to go to look for shit every once in a while.
I'd say maybe that's outplay, but I don't think there's an outwit component to it necessarily. Right?
And don't get me wrong, I don't think any of them should win at this point, but you never know. Like they've got a backing behind them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Is there anything that could happen in the show now where somebody would come back and win where you'd say, that's it, I'm out on the show?
I've been out on the show for 2 seasons. I don't know why I'm still watching it.
Are you enjoying this season though?
Habit.
I think my exactly. Habit at this point, and I think the show changed so gradually to what it is now. I think I just kind of lost sight of it, and until last night where I was like, you know what? This is trash.
I don't know about trash. There's still some good elements.
Survivor, winners at war.
Yeah, that is a real step towards.
There we go.
Big part of it for me is being part of the pool. It definitely.
Yeah, and this kind of thing I really get. I've really gotten a kick out of this thus far. You better be ready.
They're trying to make it exciting. Come on.
They didn't need that, and now they need to do that because they're like, oh shit, Nick Wilson's still in the game. There's so many other people they could have picked over Nick Wilson. I don't understand. Who are like really fun personalities. I think we talked about this maybe in the first episode about the people who didn't get picked and why they didn't get picked.
We didn't actually. Chris Doherty should have been here.
Yeah, I mean he's probably 300 pounds now.
Yeah, that's probably true.
You know. For recent people, of all the recent people who have won, maybe Mike Holloway might be.
Why wasn't Mike Holloway back?
He said a lot of weird racist pro-Trump things on Twitter.
Okay.
So
yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
probably is what excluded
Yeah.
him, is
Right.
my guess. And then Richard Hatch was going to be on, but he didn't get on because of the all sexual harassment thing in last season, which, Paul,
Right.
you thankfully missed out on because it was really
Yeah.
awkward.
Yeah.
You know, apart from that, you know, at least the last 20 seasons, who are we necessarily missing out on?
Natalie White.
No, that's okay.
Yeah.
No, you know, that's okay.
Yeah, that's
we're
true.
going back here, right? Like, I'm trying
Yeah.
to Earl Cole. I would have loved to have seen.
Yeah, I'd love to see Earl Cole play again.
They always ask him, and he's always like, "No, I just had another kid."
Yeah.
They've asked him a couple times. This was what did he win? Cook Islands. What did Earl win? Fiji?
No, Fiji. It's Fiji.
Yeah, Fiji. That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. And then, you know, Tom Westman apparently has health problems. I'd like to see that guy back.
I would like to see Todd play again, but I guess he's not doing well either.
Ooh, Todd seems to be doing okay according to his Instagram.
Yeah.
This is from Survivor China, the first season of the Amanda Kimmel and James, Big James, the Gravedigger. So Todd won that season. Yeah, I think that they would have loved to have him back, but he's had real alcoholism problems, and yeah, they don't want. I don't think they want to give that guy $2 million.
Right. Yeah.
Giving him $1 million led to a lot of problems for him.
Yeah. And also, doesn't Adam Klein make him a kind of a redundant too? Aren't they the same type of character?
Correct. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think Todd is not in. You get Adam Klein in the show.
Yeah.
Right. And then, like, you're not going to get that Tommy guy. I barely remember who that guy is. Tommy.
What about
Some
Fabio?
red-haired guy.
Why isn't Fabio playing again?
Sure, Fabio. There are obvious reasons Fabio's not playing again. Again, you don't want to hand that guy $2 million, and he's not really that dynamic on television.
No,
so
I know.
there's not that many. I would have liked to see
You're right.
Hatch.
Yeah.
You know, that
You're
Brian
right.
Heidick, I'd love to see play again, but we're going way back here, guys.
Yeah.
They're never going to have that guy on TV again. So
No.
I don't know.
Yeah.
What was the girl that hated Richard Hatch, and what was her
Suha.
name? Oh,
That's Suha.
Like, I would love to. I liked watching her because she was like a tell it like it is kind of person.
She was awesome.
She had
Yeah, but she didn't win, so she can't play.
Not on this one.
Yeah.
No. I'm just talking about
Okay.
people I would like to see back.
Players.
Yeah.
It would be fun to have back because she stirs it up. She's a no nonsense player.
How old is Suhawk now? 60?
She's got to be 60.
Oh, really? That old?
I mean, well, look, if she was 40 the first time she played, which I would
Yeah.
believe, maybe
Yeah.
38. I mean, she's pushing 60 now, right?
Yeah.
It's 20 years later. Can you believe it? 20 years later.
True.
Why the reaction, Randy?
Because I am gonna be turning fucking 55.
I know.
And that's like pushing 60.
How does that happen?
Do you know who's still? Amber looks great for 20 years later, I gotta
Yeah.
say.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think she's aged pretty well. Poor Ethan looks like he's just wasted away, which has to do obviously with
Yeah.
his
Yeah, he's battled
condition.
cancer though. Like,
Yeah.
how does that not age you?
Absolutely.
Danny Boatwright looks like
20 years older? Yeah.
Okay.
She's done some weird things to a lot of her.
Yeah.
I
She's
saw
not
her.
Not aged well.
She did
Yeah.
not age well. I'm gonna say it right now.
Who's that, sorry?
Danny.
Danny.
Not good. Not good.
No, unfortunately, she's done some weird things. Weird lips. Look, weird lips.
Right.
I don't want to pick on people's looks necessarily.
What
No.
other points you have,
No,
Ryan?
What's that?
Is there any other talking points? you
No,
have?
I say let's get to Junior's spreadsheet chat.
All right.
Spreadsheet chat. I like it. So there were three things that Ryan and I discussed this morning for awarding points. The first one is the Sarah win in the reward challenge with her group of 5, and then giving it up to Nick. So we do have a point category for if your survivor gets chosen to go on a reward. So we decided to give the reward challenge points to each of the people who actually won the reward challenge. And we gave Nick points for being chosen by Sarah to go on the reward instead of her.
Because we do have a category for if you get chosen to go on the reward, because oftentimes one person will win and they'll get a chance to pick someone else and then they pick
Yeah.
someone
Right.
else or whatever.
Okay.
So
so Sarah
Yeah.
gets the points for being
the winner of the reward challenge.
And then gets the points for being chosen.
Yeah.
Correct.
Cool. That's fair.
That's fair.
And then
I'm all for let's just give as many points away as possible.
Give all the
Give a
points
shit.
away.
Well, we try to
Keep
be
them
as
coming my way.
fair as possible with awarding the points properly, but it always seems like something in an episode comes up, and I'm like, "Crap, how do I score that one?"
Right.
That's part of the fun of it, though, right?
So the other one was the Parvati and Danny. They made it look like they all went off in groups of two. Looking
Harv grabbed it though.
advantage. Parvati found it, and then they both read it, and they both were kind of thinking like, "Oh, who should we send it to together?" But Ryan pointed out that per Survivor rules, only one person can find an idol or a advantage.
Right.
You can't split those things.
Because Parvati found it, she gets the points for finding it, and Danny gets nothing. And then in turn, she got the points as well for getting Michelle's tokens because Michelle bought it.
Yep, she bartered that trade, and irrespective of what Parv ends up doing with those tokens, she did earn herself 4 tokens. So I thought, well, that's fair. Parv's really shot up in as I looked through and that was it, right, Junior? Those were the 3 things that we discussed.
The one other thing was this awesome Adam trying to play the fake idol at Tribal. We talked about, because people often make fake idols and hope that survivors find them and then play the fake idols at Tribal and they're fake. But we do have a category for playing a fake idol. So we did decide to give Adam points for trying to play that fake idol that he was thinking maybe was an idol.
Part of me really wishes that it was like he would just like pull it out and just like on a string and
that
like
yeah.
Oh, that would have been amazing.
Especially
It
since
would have
it's
been another.
I understand. Like
it would have been another step towards the show's decline, but it still would have been kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
To start embedding idols in stage props, but. So that's those were the interesting scoring issues that came up this week.
Everything else was standard.
Right.
2 points for staying in, 1 point for everybody else. I was gonna mention this last week, but because Sandra left, she's the only person that is not collecting any points anymore.
Yeah.
Whoever picked Sandra in the pool,
all one of you.
At least everyone
4 people
getting at least 1 point or possibly something else, but except for anybody who picked Sandra.
Yeah, I mean, I was interested to have a look through the spreadsheet today and see who the lowest point getter is. Amber by a chunk, and then Danny. But people here tend to be pretty savvy at this, and only 1 person chose Amber and 2 people chose Danny. Which that shows a little bit of insight.
I was surprised at how many people got the 2 first boots right. That was amazing.
I did. Whoop, whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Did you really?
Yeah.
We got to award more points for that in the future.
That's what I was saying, though. That's really hard to do. So why were they only 5 points apiece, right? Like
this, because that's legacy from when the pool, like the winner of the pool would win the pool with like 34 points.
Right.
Paul has 371 points right now. So you're right. I think we'll amend that for the next season, assuming that we do this again in the next season, which I wasn't going to do because I was going to be traveling all year, but now because of the stupid coronavirus, I'll be back
working
at work,
again.
So
oh, hoo-hoo.
Probably continue to do the pool. Well, it does suck.
I think Amber was a fairly obvious choice. I'm surprised how many people got Natalie Anderson as the first boot. Wow.
Well,
That is
those were 2
interesting.
different tribes.
Natalie has done more for me on Edge of Extinction.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Sandra and Tony were the overwhelming picks for the first boot on the call.
Yeah.
On Sele, it was
Amber.
actually Rob, overwhelmingly Rob, and then maybe there were a couple of Denises and
Wow. One thing about tonight's episode that
a bunch
surprised
of
me
Natalies.
was Denise did not get picked to play in that challenge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then I thought that might be a sign that no one was allied with her, but then her name did not come up at all again for who's getting booted out, right? So
Yeah.
we were all wrong about our week's prediction for.
That was a really quiet episode.
Who's going to get kicked out? Yeah, I thought it
Yeah.
was going to be Denise too.
There were a few people in the Facebook poll that did pick Adam. So
Okay.
I do think it's interesting that Denise. So in terms of points getters, Denise has 100 points now, more than any other player by
Wow.
I want to say by a 20-point margin. You got Michelle has 80 points. Kim has 80 points. Wow. Parvati has 76 by virtue of the fact that she raked it in, scoring those fire tokens or whatever. So yeah, we'll revisit the scoring system after the season. Of course, if people have suggestions, I'm always happy to hear them. I hear very few suggestions until I hear complaints, but for the most part, I think
that's why I specialize in complaints.
Yeah, I mean we love it. We're the complaint department for sure. So with that said, thanks, Junior, for getting the spreadsheet out so quick. Really appreciate it. Doing a hell of a job on the spreadsheet this year. Just crushing it. I'll turn it over to Paul Sykes for Paul's play. I have no idea where this is going. Paul's player of the game.
Okay, so I'm not going to chew the scenery. This is going to be a truncated player of the game, just because it really gave me nothing to go on. And if I was choosing the worst player of the episode, I had a lot of people. I mean, Adam would have taken the cake, right? Sarah was bad. Adam was terrible. I've never seen anyone implode so badly as Adam, and I think the scene where Adam and Ben, Ben just read him completely in terms of this guy is lying to me, right? Like, Adam was so funny. Bad. It was so funny. And Adam was so bad in that moment that I thought, how did this guy win his season?
I got to revisit how he won that season. That's right. Millennials Gen X?
Yeah.
I'd like to revisit that. I liked a lot of the players in that season, so I wouldn't mind going back.
It wouldn't be a bad season to revisit in terms of recent seasons, for sure.
Yeah.
So in terms of who the best player was, though, that is going to be really difficult. So it kind of left me down to, so Tyson ultimately got Adam's name back out there, right? But it's just throwing out someone's name, is that enough to get you the player of the week? Probably not. So I'm going to give it, and this is just purely based on reputation and the fact that this guy is not even talked about and still seems part of the central hub that everyone is going to, Mr. Tony Vlachos.
It's amazing. Have 3 great, sort of, as I alluded to earlier, talk downs to people this week. Go on.
I have no other thing to base this on except the fact that he's not a target right now. And it really, and what you said about the 3 talk downs, the way that everyone's kind of coming and talking to Tony, it really shows me that his social game has really evolved. And
his name has never come up.
Right. His name has never come up. And whose position keeps getting better as anyone who goes home who's not Tony Vlachos is Tony Vlachos. I could have given it to Jeremy, perhaps, because I think Jeremy's also just kind of going with the flow and not putting his foot down right now. And also Jeremy, if you remember, has that that idol that will grant him
he can leave and the trouble pencil or something. Yeah.
Right. And I know
you can only play that up to a final 10.
For myself personally, if there's a tribal council that chaotic, I would use that because I just wouldn't know when, I would be like, oh, it could possibly be me. I'm going to use this. But the fact that he was able to to not jump the gun and use that really shows me that Jeremy's playing hard too. But yeah, it's going to be Tony.
I'm curious.
Okay, Tony Vlachos, Paul's pick of the week.
Someone pick a better player.
If Jeremy were to use that, I'm wondering if there would be any backlash because he leaves tribal and he also doesn't vote. So I wonder if the non-vote also messes.
Only if the vote is close.
Yeah.
In this case, it wouldn't matter.
And I feel like what Ryan was saying in the beginning, it's pretty much a 9-2 vote at this point. So it's just even if he's one of the 9, it doesn't make a difference. So.
He can only use this advantage up until final 10, which is next week. So it'll be interesting to see if he does play it or not, if he's feeling comfortable. Nobody else knows that he's got it, so he may not feel like he needs to use it. And he might draw attention to himself by playing it if he doesn't need to. So,
right.
I don't know.
So who would anyone else pick as player of the game? I'm just curious because I knew that, I have no idea where to go with that.
Junior's usually got a cold take on this. Junior?
I like the Tony pick. I mean, if I had to choose someone other than Tony for yesterday, I might go for Sophie.
But she had so few I don't think she had a confessional, and I don't think that
When she
won
was
the
in there,
puzzle.
I think she was part
she was
of it.
in the
She
mix.
did well in the puzzle. She was in the mix.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
basing that on her puzzle in the challenge.
But it was a reward challenge for Chinese food. I don't know if I can give you too many props for winning Chinese food.
Well, I don't care what it's for.
Okay.
The challenge is a challenge.
Yeah, but there's different ramifications to the challenges. Like one challenge is to get back in the game, and one is for fucking fortune cookies, right? There's the
Yeah, but that's going to have a big ramification in the game because Michelle ultimately made her decision based on her fortune, and that, when she gets the flippy coin, is going to result in her staying in the game and some major player getting voted out. It's all going to come back around.
So why can't the player be
to that challenge?
Why can't the player be
Here's
Parvati?
hoping.
Player of the week, Parvati.
Because she's not in the real game.
Yeah, but aren't they all in the game though?
She's not in the real game.
No, that's not the real game. It's like
Can
Redemption
someone on
Island.
edge?
Real
Can
game.
someone on the edge win Paul's Player of the Week?
No. Oh, Danny Boatwright?
Every
Who's
category.
I think Parv might be second or third runner-up this week, honestly, because at least she made a
See,
savvy move. She led that yoga session.
That says a lot more about the episode than it does about her game, though.
Definitely. I don't think the producers had much to work with on this one.
Winners
Yeah.
we've seen
Winners
so
at
much coverage of Edge of Extinction. So if it were any other season, would we necessarily see that much coverage of the players on Edge? I don't know.
No, we would not.
No, you
Yeah.
can't have a player of the season on Edge.
I think
Okay.
the
I agree.
amount of coverage people on Edge of Extinction are getting is comparable
Because
to
they
what's
were
happening
previous
on
winners.
Edge, right? They have some type of a challenge. They show the challenge. They show who finds it. They show she gives it to someone in the game. And it's relevant because it does get sent to someone in the game,
Sure.
right?
Yeah.
That in the last time they had Edge of Extinction too, we just didn't get as much coverage of Edge.
Right.
There was an interplay
because
between
they
the
didn't
people in the
win.
game and not in the game in the last Edge. But, they're all newbies. Nobody really cares about...
Exactly.
I can't even remember anybody's name. Oh, what's that guy who really loved Jesus? Who pulled the chute?
I can't remember.
I can't remember that guy's name at all. But he'd
Nope.
always be like, "Thank you, God, and then he pulled the flag.
Nope.
Right.
Yeah, you guys remember that guy? He's a major player in Survivor history.
So, oh, sorry. I just lost it. Someone else take over.
No, we're fine. Look, Tony. Sure. I mean, I think it's a real tough call this week.
Right. Yeah. No, not much to go on.
Great. Well, excellent, Paul. Thanks very much. I look forward to the pick of the week next week as well. I like the worst pick of the week too. That's kind of fun.
I had time to fill.
Yeah, no kidding. We'll turn it over to Randman to close out the segment tonight with his piece on Randy's top 5 Survivor players from the past 20 seasons, the most recent 20 seasons. Now, Randy did let me know in advance, and I was going to try and do some kind of a cool thing where I got pictures up. I don't know how to do that. Now I think about it, I should have had them in the backdrop and then just whoosh, and they could have been in there. So if we do something like this again,
Brian,
yeah,
are you on your computer?
I am.
Yeah, you can share your screen. There's a share screen button at the bottom.
Oh, really?
So you can pull up his pictures.
Wait, can I tell them first before you share your screen?
Well, I got to get the pictures up but oh God, I'm never going to get them in time. Okay.
I'm just telling you who they are.
Okay.
So number 5 for me, Sierra Easton, who threw her mom under the bus. I absolutely loved her. She played twice. Okay. Number 4 for me, beautiful Joe Anglin. That is number 4 for me.
Randy, you're off to a rough start here, pal.
Hey, I started a man bun, and I had a man bun because of that guy.
He's so nice to look at. Fair.
Number 3, I think the most stunning, most beautiful Survivor player ever, Brenda Lowe.
Oh, okay, Brenda
She
Lowe.
played so well in her season. I fell in love with her. She was such a good player.
Sorry, which season did she play really well in?
Her first
Nicaragua.
season.
Nicaragua. Okay.
Yeah,
She played pretty well in Nicaragua.
yeah.
No idea who she is, not gonna lie.
Yeah, I'll try and get some pictures here. Randy's just going too fast, Randy.
Oh,
I can't bring
sorry.
up the pictures.
Okay, so number
You got
five
to
was-
talk a little bit about Sierra Easton and how amazing
Sierra-
she is.
Sierra showed up with her mom. Remember that you had family members, blood versus
Water.
water?
Correct.
And she had her mom, and when it came to a vote, she voted against her mom.
Her mom was going home anyway. Just to be clear,
Yeah.
her mom was going home anyway.
You don't vote against your mom. I'm a mama's boy.
Oh, I'd vote against my. I would be spearheading getting rid of my mom.
Oh my God. I would take my mom to the end. So that's Sierra.
Okay, yeah, now I remember her.
Loved
How
her.
many times has Sierra played? 2 or 3?
2.
3. I think it's. I thought it was 3.
I think it's
Maybe
3.
three,
I
yeah.
thought it was 3 too.
I thought it was just 2, but okay.
She played on Game Changers. She played on
Still
Blood
be a
versus
mama's boy
Water.
and vote your mom out. It's for money because you're gonna share it with your mom anyways.
Yeah,
There
but
you
the
go.
whole vote your mom out thing, again, this is what bugs me about it so much. Jeff brings it up so much. She
So
loves
much.
that Sierra voted her mom out.
Vote
She was getting voted out anyway.
Vote her ass out. If you're gonna impede my progress, vote. I'm gonna vote your ass out because if I can win
That's
At the
your
end?
mom. Let everyone else
with
vote
you
her out.
at the end,
No. Let everyone else vote her up. You don't vote your mom out. But I still loved her for it. I loved her for it. So number 4, Joe. I absolutely
oh
love
Joe,
So
love
nice.
Joe,
So awesome. Oh,
yeah,
oh.
Joe with the
I
mustache
did my
yes,
man bun because of him.
and the
It'd be
man.
nice if he had anything interesting about him.
He's pretty.
Yeah, is this like Randy's great picks or Randy's boner jams right here?
No, great players. Number 3.
Nice.
Is Joe a good player, Randy?
Yes, he played well.
He's good at physical challenges. I don't
Yes.
disagree with you.
Challenges, and he's really nice to look at.
How far did he
Yeah.
make it in his season?
Kelly really likes Joe too.
These are Kelly's boner jams.
Do we remember how far Joe made it in the seasons he played?
Joe has never made it farther than like 7th place.
Because if we're ranking the super hunks, I would put Jay Byers above Joe. Thank you
Well,
very
there's
much.
a lot of super hunks who are more
We're not
handsome
talking
than
about
Look at this
super
clown.
We're talking about players. Yes.
All right.
Number
He
3,
is
Brenda Lowe. Oh my God, put
All
her
right.
up.
all right, I'm getting her.
Brenda Lowe is the
Yeah.
most stunning female Survivor player ever. I just think she's so beautiful.
Yeah, she
Oh.
is.
I-
Brenda's very attractive.
But she played so well.
She did the first time. She was very invisible the second time. And I heard a little bit about this.
First time
Because
ever. First time ever. More than that.
Yeah, no, she's definitely hot. And I think she was one of those suitcase girls on, what's that stupid show with the suitcases that Howie Mandel hosts?
Deal or no
Oh.
deal.
Sure, so she was a suitcase girl on there. That's her
So
claim to
was
fame
Meghan
apart from being on
Markle.
the show.
Yeah, Meghan
It was
Markle.
Meghan Markle. You're right.
Yeah.
Know each other.
Yeah,
And
I
look,
mean, it's
she married a prince.
Yep, there you
No
go.
way.
Yep.
She played her season so well. I'm talking
Brenda was good.
first time. And
Yeah.
then number 2, Spencer
Okay.
Bledsoe.
Oh, here we go.
Number
Spencer
2.
Bledsoe.
Oh, I remember Spencer.
His season was amazing.
Oh yeah.
I loved Spencer.
Spencer, that's my
He was
number 2
great.
from season 21
Is
to 40.
Spencer a good player? I don't think Spencer's actually a bad player. Oh, let's get a hint.
Wait, who's he dating now? That's what I want to know.
Who's he dating?
Why does it
I don't-
matter?
I don't have that fact. Sorry.
There you
don't
go.
know.
That's as good as it's going to get for Spencer.
In terms of,
Well, no, his pictures you found there. I think you found the handsomest version of Spencer.
I did try. Well, yeah, he's so
Yeah.
young when he played. Let's not forget
Yeah.
the first time he played, he was maybe 22.
Something like that, yeah.
And in this picture, he's probably 24, 25. How many times has Spencer played? Twice?
Twice,
Yeah.
yeah.
Played twice. But
Yeah.
both seasons he played was Chaos Cass on both seasons?
Yes.
Chaos.
Yes, she was.
Because I feel like Chaos Cass is his nemesis. Like,
Yeah, I would probably say
he
that.
might have gone farther if Cass wasn't.
He went pretty deep both times.
First season he was 4th, and the second time he played, he was the runner-up.
Yeah, so he went deep both times.
Okay, I just went on first season.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, Randy, you've been doing that going on first season. I did enjoy his game in the first season. He's actually pretty intelligent guy, and the podcasts I've heard with him, he has a lot of interesting insight. And I don't know if Sierra's an okay player. Joe is not that great. Brenda was decent, and I'm not judging your picks, Randy, at all.
No.
I love your picks. I'm so glad that you did this. So I'm wondering, like, I think, okay, so I know who number 1 is. Let me get this picture up first.
I'm just going to say something about Spencer. Spencer was the first of the game bots, and I think the game bots have changed the game.
Oh, Malcolm.
That's my number 1 for 20
Yes, Malcolm.
Okay, you got a good one. You got a good one in there.
Yeah, I do like Malcolm's game quite a bit.
He's
But
the
look,
best.
he still has the same garbage, like, facial hair that Joe Anglim had.
Sure.
Yeah.
facial hair.
Facial garbage. He's got the man bun going on, whatever. And he's a fucking amazing player.
Yes.
And sorry, ladies, that Joe has always been a poor man's Malcolm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I do agree with you. Was Malcolm a rich man's Aussie?
Oh. Because he was
I
never.
think so.
Aussie was because Aussie had a real different skill. Aussie has a skill set that no one else will have. Aussie could swim like a dolphin, climb
True
anything.
story.
He was just a very physically dominant individual, and Malcolm never really reached those
amazing.
levels.
Malcolm didn't really have a lot of challenge prowess at all.
No, he didn't.
We're just comparing people with long hair here.
Yeah, I think so.
Maybe it's Randy's type.
Malcolm is a very interesting guy. There was a podcast with him just this week, as I mentioned earlier. Really good insight. He hasn't been on a podcast in quite a few years, and I thought it was great to hear what he's been up to and get some insight. I got some insight on Brenda Lowe, which Brenda Lowe's second season, she was so invisible because she apparently had just gotten into a relationship before she came out on the show and basically was crying her eyes out every single day. And so she wasn't involved in the strategy. She was super removed from the game and just didn't get involved. So that was a little interesting piece of insight from the interview. I think Malcolm will play again. I think Survivor loves him.
He said he's game for
the
it.
fans love him. If Kelly's any indication that
And I'm definitely down.
fans are all over Milk. So I think
I would like to see him play again. Usually I'm getting fatigued by people, but I would like to see him play again.
Yeah.
And
He
it's
got
not
ripped
because
off
of my
in Game Changers.
yeah.
It's not because of your.
It's reasons totally unrelated to Randy's reasons.
A lot of Randy's reasons are this person is beautiful, and we can't discredit anybody's reasons for liking a Survivor.
For next week, I can do my
He's beautiful to look at. He's good in the challenges. I don't know. He's good. He's nice to watch.
No. Mine was
He's a
based
good
on
player.
gameplay. If you want my most beautiful survivors ever, I'll do that next week.
Oh!
Come on, man.
Yes, do that next week.
You don't think it's going to be just the same people over and over?
Oh shit! I have so many good-looking survivors.
Okay, Randy. I'll say, Randy, you can have the segment, but you cannot pick any of the people you've picked already.
Okay, well, some of these are beautiful, but okay, without picking these, I have lots of beautiful survivors.
We've already talked about how beautiful Joe Anglim is. We don't need it 2 weeks in a row. So we're going to come up. What do you want? Top 5, top 7? What are you looking at here?
I'll give you top 8. 4 female, 4 male.
Love it.
Perfect.
Dunzo. All right. There's guys with that. There's reasons for you to return next week. Okay? Even if the show continues to fall off and drag, Randy will be back and we're going to be looking at beautiful people up on the screen, and we're not going to be looking at Malcolm or Joey Amazing again.
Wait. We're gonna, since we have 4 more episodes, we're gonna do seasons 1 to 10, 11 to 20.
Oh.
We're going to do all the seasons next week, and then we can give you something else to do the week after.
Okay, I'll do it.
Agreed.
Okay?
Agreed.
There's no way I'm going back through 5 hot people from seasons 1 through 10.
This isn't People Magazine, okay?
This is not People Magazine.
1 to 40.
How has this devolved to hot people? I thought it was like Randy's top picks.
Well, they kind
we
of just
are
was
all
hot people anyway.
here. We are all hot people here. That's all that matters. We're talking about people who rate like us.
I don't think that anybody Randy picked was a terrible Survivor player.
Nope.
You know,
I-
oh, look, here, guys, sorry. Paul, go ahead. I'll let you.
There was one good one in there in terms of players.
Sorry, everyone, but Joey Amazing's off
Oh.
the market. Him and Sierra got married.
That's a nice looking couple.
Sarah.
Does it really? Do people think that is a good picture of Joe? Like, does he look? Did really in that picture? Are people like, this guy? This is the guy.
Wild, Wild West.
Actually, it's not a great picture of either of them, but
Yeah. Okay.
Is Joe the one that
know them.
donated his hair to?
Yes.
Yeah.
What a great guy, right? He donated his hair.
they're both beautiful people.
Yes. We'll admit that these are very, very attractive people. How do I get this shit off the screen, Junior?
Stop sharing.
Stop sharing it.
Where's the stop sharing thing?
Love sharing, Ryan.
Very at the top.
Probably.
I don't have it anymore because I got some thumbnail view going here. Oh,
Prob-
grid view. Yeah, okay, I got grid view. I can't do it.
It's
not
probably
here.
at the bottom.
I don't have it anymore. I would love to stop sharing so that I could give this a proper kiss off.
It's
But we may not
probably-
be able to do it today. So,
All right.
nope. So we'll pack it in
Okay.
for this week. Really great to see everybody, even though no one can see me right now. We'll tune in next week for episode 10 of the show. And until that time, guys, I got nothing else for you.
All right. Good night, everyone.
So,
It's so
thanks,
fun.
guys.
Oh,
See you next week.
see you next week.
Thanks a lot.
Yay. Bye,
Later, guys.
guys.
I don't know how to turn this off now.